Hey guys and girls, and welcome back to Greatest Good Tara. I hope you're doing well and keeping out of mischief. Now, while I was uploading the predictions reading concerning Charlie Boy dissolving Parliament, which was based upon a comment, it wasn't even a submitted question that was released earlier this morning. This came up on my YouTube feed as recommended and stuff, because I was just scrolling, seeing what's happening, because it took a little while. It was a bit of a long reading, unfortunately, because it wasn't our usual reading. I was just following the guidance, the downloads, the nudges, whatever you want to call it, just to see what came out, that kind of thing. And it was very informative, I felt. And I was like, oh, wow, okay, this is interesting. This is kind of continuing down our earlier general election thing, and it's kind of making, but there's a specific scandal here involving kind of like health data, that kind of stuff. And I'm breezing through it. There's a lot of detail there. Go and watch it if you haven't. Go and get yourself a slurp of coffee or a nice brew and treat yourself to a nice biscuit and go and rewatch that if you haven't already. While I was, like I said, it took a little while to upload, so I was seeing what else was going on in the world, and I'm not actually subscribed to this channel, but I do watch occasionally snippets, what they do. The parliamentarian channel here on YouTube popped up, and it's titled Chaos in Parliament, Speaker Furious, Lindsay Hoyle, calls Labour hypocrites. Now, this is the second time he's done this, and we're going to do a little bit of something we don't normally do on the channel, because I feel like it's needed to have the context. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're gonna bring up our lovely telly box, and then we're going to play it here so that we can actually go into this together, because it feels like it's somehow connected to what we've just dealt with on the prediction reading. So here we go.
Before we come to the next business, I have a brief statement. This morning, the government published the Strategic Defence Review. The Prime Minister made a speech and held a press conference in Glasgow, in addition to other media appearances. This shows complete disregard for the House and for the honourable members. I note that ministers, when they were in opposition, were not slow to complain when the previous government made major policy announcements outside Parliament. It's amazing in opposition how everything should be discussed on the floor of the House, but when in government, memories are short on that fact.
Now, just to catch up, this is the second time. Admittedly, they've had a bit of a recess holiday week, which was last week, Slow News Week. So he's done this before previously. Okay, so this is the second time in a month from memory, off the top of my head. And long-term viewers, you know, my memory is not great since the accident years ago, right? So I can't put an exact date and figure of when the original one happened, but this is the second time he's done it within about a month. So, but this somehow feels connected to what we did previously.
What has changed? I'll tell you what's changed. Disregard for the members who sit on the backbenches. I am here to defend the backbenches, so please, I hope we have no more of this. Leader!
I responded to an urgent question on a similar matter on the 14th of May. I reiterate the commitments I gave then. I am satisfied that this government is coming to the House regularly to keep Parliament informed. I recognise...
Order! I'm not satisfied. I think that's the key, because both backbenchers, quite rightly, should hear it first. I don't care how many have been done in the House, it's the ones that's not been done we should be talking about. Leader of the House.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As I say, it will be made this afternoon by the Dissent Secretary, and I am satisfied. I would point out to colleagues we've got an important second reading debate today, of which there are dozens and dozens of speakers down to speak in. So we are now doing 2 urgent questions before a very important statement and then other business as well. So we do have to try and balance these things.
I'm sure that criticism was aimed at me for granting 2 UQs. The reason we granted 2 UQs the reason we've granted 2 UQs is because we didn't come here with the Strategic Defence Review. Otherwise, we won't be on, and there will be no pressure on time. Jonathan Davis.
Thank you, So, Mr. Speaker, I've now been told something else. That members of industry, representatives of industry, were allowed to see the SDR at 10:30. What?
Now, this is what slapped me around the face. All right. Because I misspoke in the previous reading, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry, like, because Erin Dawes and I are talking about the small holding, the farm that we're heading towards, and that kind of stuff, what we're manifesting, and all that jazz. And I misspoke in the reading, saying industry, which I didn't mean to, because that's what we're just calling different things that chicken eggs and like maybe quail eggs and duck, different industries on the farm, on the small holding. And that's what we're just calling shorthand for between us. So that's why I was like, oh, I didn't mean that. I meant another word, blah, 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 and brushed it off. When it got to this point here, I was spiritually slapped round the face going, you donut. So let me just scroll this back a little bit again, because I just want to, we want to have this complete, so then we can go into the reading. I'm sorry, but this is why we need context to this particular reading, okay?
Thank you, So, Mr. Speaker, I've now been told something else. That members of industry, representatives of industry, were allowed to see the SDR at 10:30. What? This is a multi-billion-pound industry. That's highly market sensitive, Mr. Speaker.
I'm very disappointed that if industry have seen this Strategic Defence Review, members of this House, members of the Select Committee of Defence haven't seen it, there is something fundamentally gone wrong here. I really do believe we need the answers. And it might be worth, and it's up to the leader, I'm not under pressure, that she goes away, gets some answer, comes back to the House. The fact that journalists have been allowed to see it, but defence people who's got skin in the game before MPs here, I am very, very concerned.
Very, very concerned. Oh, okay, it's just going to repeat itself. However, so that is the premise, the foundation to this reading, okay? This feels as if, like I said, it's connected somehow to the previous reading. I don't know, as always, I don't know how this, how we're going to go into this. I know nothing. That's why we're doing the reading. Apart from the nudge, the download, the aha moment, the spiritual guidance, whatever you want to call it, to slap me into this, doing this thing, okay? So can we... what do you want to say? Clarity on industry, the defence statement, etc., for the greatest good for all concerned. Thank you. Always be appreciative. Okay. Hermit. Hangman. Oh, that feels off. Both of those feel off. These do not feel as if they're the traditional kind of hermit, hangman, seeing it from a different point of view, soul-searching kind of reflection, meditating, that kind of thing. These feel like 2 different groups of people. Working people. No, they're not working. But it's that kind of energy where they're 2 different, like working together maybe, but they... right. Emperor. Wheel of Fortune. Upright. Notice how the penguin is looking towards these 2 people. I think that's Trumpy Trump and America in general, kind of saying the 3%, all that jazz, funding for NATO, blah, 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 3% of GDP and all that stuff. Wheel of Fortune upright, that does feel like good karma, good luck, good destiny, good. So as in like it's for the right reasons. This is the corner that I'm concerned, maybe a bit strong, but it definitely feels like this is the core of the matter here. Justice, truth, knowledge, wisdom kind of energy. Balance. But I'm getting mostly about you reap what you sow. Kind of cause and effect. You reap what you sow. Queen of Pentacles, trying to be mumsy, proactive, being practical about things. Tupperware lady, as I like to keep reminding, everything's got a Tupperware box, for the picnic, blah, blah, blah. Very organized, that kind of thing. Temperance, balancing out. Interesting that both sides here, we've got a different version of balance. Equality, balance. But one side is trying to, it's almost as if one side's trying to push for it and the other side is doing it equal. Yeah, for equal reasons. And this is kind of the, putting it in order. This doesn't feel like an actual individual person. The Queen of Pentacles feels more about being proactive, putting that energy in, finding a solution to the problem, being organized, that kind of thing. But this side feels very strongly as if there is, I think it's too strong to say double dealings, but it feels very strongly as if they're scratching each other's back in some way, shape or form. And it feels as if there is some other some other purpose. There's some other reasoning. There's some other magician. They're trying to manifest something. 5 of Cups. There is going to be a regret on this side. It's not going to work. There's going to be something that's going to be taken out. 6 of Pentacles. So it is going to eventually back and forth sharing of information and stuff, and but something, whatever they're trying to scratch each other's back, manifest themselves, is going to miff off the Americans. Trumpy Trump, his agenda, that kind of stuff, which is gonna, it's almost short-term stupidity on this side, but it is going to sort itself out. 6 of Pentacles, coming back to the table. There's something here where, and I'm just going to put this on the record, there's something here, but I don't know what it is. There's something here that is going to be spun as like Trumpy Trump is having another temper tantrum, throwing his toys out the pram. Similar how it's kind of spun and put in the media over, like, for example, Trump tariffs and stuff like that. It's that kind of feeling, how it's going to be spun, but there's actually more to it than meets the eye. Yeah? Overarching energy, Knight of Cups, a new offer. Underlying energy, Ace of Pentacles, planting the seed of opportunity. So, but it's definitely, this feels like UK. This doesn't feel like UK EU or UK NATO. This feels internal. All right. So for the new boys and girls, this is the foundation of the reading. We're now going to get some gossip, and then we're going to have an outcome later on. That's what we always do. So while I'm shuffling these cards, please, if you enjoy the way how I read type malarkey, please thummy like the videos. They generally help out the channel so much. All those likes, feeding the YouTube algorithm, bribing it with your like. And generally, thank you so much indeed for all of those. And yeah, if you're new here, please subscribe, ding-a-ling that bell. Come and join the Greatest Good Village, because it takes a village to support everybody. That is what we do here. Sorry, I'm being really distracted by the Hermit and the Hangman. It really... It's kind of palpable. It's some sort of... And I don't mean this in a sexist way, but it's kind of like a gentleman's agreement, gentleman club, kind of behind closed doors kind of agreement kind of thing. You know, like from Peter to Paul kind of energy. Yeah, it's that kind of, with this defense, this kind of, there's a reason why it's almost as if they're bypassing Parliament for some reason. There's a reason why that's what it kind of feels like. But the Justice card here, you reap what you sow. It's the detail here. It's not the headline 3% thing. It's not the... Let's have a look. Oh. Multiple people involved. This feels like the escalation, as an example, the escalation of Ukraine for ulterior reasons. Alternative reasons, I should say. Ulterior. Yeah. Sorry, I'm really getting distracted by the Hermit Hangman. Let me have a slurp of coffee. It's sitting there looking pretty. I might as well use it, you know. Cheers, my dears. There we go. Very, very lovely. Nice. Oh, I spilt one. Oh, I spilt it along the way. That's the first time for that. Oh, it's on the mouse as well. Oh, dear. Turn off the mouse. There we go. Yeah. It's spilt all over the mouse. Oh, dear. It's causing mischief. I tell you what, after, 300 readings and slurping of coffee, first time that's happened. That I've done it anyway. But I'm being told there's something about spilled milk, not coffee, spilled milk, something to do, right. Water's rising. So whatever this escalation is here, water's rising, the pressure is on. Temperance, urgent. So Trumpy Trump and all that kind of, because obviously we look through for the new boys and girls, the reason why we put them on top of each other, we're looking through to the underlying card, and then it's like it couples together. So they're acting now to try and balance this out. Trumpy Trump is trying to balance out which is true. He's saying, look, very simply, everyone needs to put money in for NATO. 3% of GDP, blah, blah, blah. That's the thing, blah, blah, blah. All that kind of stuff. He's acting now. He's putting his like the money where his mouth is kind of stuff. It's not fair in America that we're constantly funding, and there's some countries in this agreement that hasn't met the understanding, blah, blah, blah. So that makes sense. The Hangman, I'm trying to put labels on the Hermit and the Hangman. One is definitely industry. The other one is definitely the government. But the problem is, and I'll try and demonstrate, and it's going to be this is going to be rubbish demonstration, but it's almost like the energies are very similar and then kind of go warm. warm. As almost like the only metaphor I can use to help me there is it like the kind of like the people complaining about the circular door going between government departments and their retrospective kind of industry. You know what I mean? Going, warm. It's that kind of energy. Magician, stay put. So they want to manifest. They're manifesting this escalation. Whatever this escalation is, doesn't matter if it's Iran, Ukraine, Gaza, wherever it is, whatever this escalation that they're trying to do, they're gonna be. This is what we're manifesting. We want this to happen. We want this to happen. 5 of Cups. Solution to the problem. Right? Heart on sleeve, heart in the hands. Yeah? From Trumpy Trump. 6 of Pentacles. I don't normally do the 6th card. Wow. Disclosure of something. Data. 6 of Pentacles. That's a dossier. That's some sort of... I don't normally do that card. I normally just do 5 in the middle. I didn't even realise I was doing it until I put it down. It's like, oh, rubbish. Overarching. Military plane. There is an escalation of something. Purposeful escalation to stay put. Reap what you sow. The Justice card. They're desperately wanting to escalate this. The big shit here. The people on the ivory tower want this to happen, to balance out the books, to fund their mates, to whatever it is. There's vested interest for it to happen. But the pressure is on to try and be practical over here while escalating it for their own reasons, their own... Oh, I knew this was a dodgy thing. I knew this, that it slapped. Before we go on to the Kipper deck, there is... Whatever this escalation is, and I believe it's more Ukraine more than primarily because of the NATO funding thing here. Okay? They're adamant that it has to escalate. And I'm being reminded that in the last week or two, maybe a little bit longer than that, on different streaming apps, I have seen a huge increase in primarily army recruitment ads. I think I've just seen one for the RAF, but they've all been army, be the best kind of things. It's some sort of, and this feels like a dossier, kind of the reasoning to the madness. But I'll say this, or I'll at least put this on the record to see how it goes. This dossier feels like history repeating itself, like with Iraq, Afghanistan, Blair, what's his name? I think we're even going to have a repeat of kind of, was it Dr. Kelly? Was it Dr. Kelly? Situation. There is, it feels as if there's like history repeating itself in that kind of sense. These feel like they need a little bit longer, so bear with me for a second. I thought these were ready and then it's suddenly skewed. Meanwhile, this is still going warm, which is remarkably distracting, to be honest. So, yeah. Distant horizons. Privileged lady. Which would be, privileged lady in this deck, that would be the Queen of Pentacles. Yeah? It's interesting that it's women. All three cards in the center here have been women. Marriage, the commitment on NATO funding, that kind of thing. Distant horizons feels quite literal. It's like far off dusty place. We'll go and invade. We'll go and bomb. We'll go and do whatever. But there's this escalation. Stay put. You know, to manifest this into being. Main female. False person. So this false person feels like it's this main female. As if kind of Jekyll and Hyde kind of energy, kind of two-faced, say something to the Americans, say something else to the other interests. Overarching energy, mature. See what I mean? All these women. The ones in the middle, that just feels like it's the Queen of Pentacles twice, with the action of, you know, pressures are rising, blah blah blah. We need to get involved, that kind of thing. This woman here is, like I said, two-faced. I feel like these women are countries. So, like one side, oh, well, you know, this is the UK, but then saying something else to the Americans falsely, that kind of thing. Mature woman, underarching, oh, but we're so innocent. We're just trying to help out. We're just trying to, but you know, butter wouldn't melt. Yeah, that kind of energy. We're just, you know, it's escalating and this, that, and the other, ignoring the fact that there's been vested interest of doing this. What? How many years now? Over a decade, because Obama was involved in it and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's and it's like yeah, this does not feel good. This feels like I'll be surprised. Like this, let's go to the outcome. I feel like this is going to be full of pentacles. I'm getting that kind of energy. It's all about the money. It's all about resources, money. It's all about some sort of this feels like a saving grace kind of thing. This is dodgy. This is, and it's somehow bypassing Parliament. There's a reason why they're not bringing it to the floor. There's a reason why they're announcing it all over the place to make it sound great. Hermit. Page of Pentacles. Straight out with the pentacle. After that, there's going to be loads of pentacles here. Page of Pentacles. This feels like, I think this is industry. The Hermit card. It's like, this is what we can provide at the moment. Kind of, we need more funding. We need more input. We need, you know, that kind of thing. It's like, oh, we're so poor with our billions. We need more. Hangman. There comes the truth, knowledge, wisdom, clarity. But it feels on the wonk. It doesn't feel upside down. That would be lies, deception, manipulation. But it feels on the wonk. It's spun. That is the government. Trumpy Trump. Three of Cups. That feels like community, NATO, working together. We can work, we can do something good here, guys and girls. Let's just do it, something, that kind of thing. Especially with all these women here. 3 women in the middle here, 3 women over here. We could work together, guys and girls. Come on. Wheel of Fortune, reviewing the situation. Where do we want to plant this opportunity? Where do we want to plant this prosperity? How do we want to move forward? Like moving NATO into another, like up to another level, or change it for the new modern age, blah, 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 that kind of feeling. Wish coming true. You reap what you sow. Wish coming true. Okay, so their escalation is going to happen. Already all the pentacles going. 4 of Pentacles. Normally security blanket, holding on tight to resources. This feels like, if we want to keep what we, our society, the working people, freedoms, blah, 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 that kind of thing. We've got to go and do this. Yeah. Trump. Page of Swords. What was that on again? Marriage, act now. This feels like a warning shot over the bow. This feels like, don't do this. Polite warning. Just a small kind of, don't do this. There's another way out of this. And I feel like that's why we've had this spit. This is, sometimes I wish I could swear on this channel, but I've chosen not to. But it's one of the, this is why they've been spinning it. It's like, we can't trust America for, after 70 odd years, blah, 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 in the media for the last couple of months. This is why. It's like disassociating with America. And it's like, we can't trust them. We can't do this. We can't do that, because they're trying to manifest this escalation. Five of Pentacles. You reap what you sow. Out in the cold. The Four of Pentacles in the center. I know I'm doubling back. This feels as if trying to hold the economy together. This is pulling the emergency brake on a train. This feels like this feels like nothing, because we can't do anything else with the economy. We've got to go to war now. Every time we go, people go to war, it's economically good, blah, blah, pull the brake, off we go. But the Five of Pentacles out in the cold, no one wants it. No one wants it. And so it's almost like stalemate. They can't, no matter how the media has spun it, we can't trust America, we can't do this, even though they're like, come and work with us, we can work this out together, blah, blah, blah. This is what we've got the two face down here, haven't we? So it's the Five of Pentacles out in the cold, because they've got their own agendas. We've got to do this. Queen of Pentacles again. Everything's fine. We're being practical. Hold on, let me just remind myself of what's under here. Solution to the problem. Being practical. Yes. So this is, but this disclosure here, this feels like bad intelligence. This feels like I said, Iraq, Afghanistan. I'm sure it was someone like Dr. Kelly. That name rings a bell, really. I think someone even added a question recently in the comments about doing a reading about that kind of, looking into that kind of stuff. 2 of them want to come out. Okay. but it was, I don't want to, like, true crime stuff. I don't particularly want, because going back just a little bit, very, very quickly, not woe is me kind of thing. It's just like, here it is. I've been in that kind of realm of, as a friendship group of, like, the media rushing in, sudden deaths, kind of all that kind of stuff going on a couple of years ago. And I don't want to, from the other side, I know what it's like. So I don't want to kind of shake up past wounds. I don't want to be part of that. I have a bit of morality about it. Yeah. So even though this is coming up here, and like in the last week or so, someone, I wish I could remember your name, I'm sorry, actually suggested it as a possible suggestion for a reading. It's interesting that it's coming in here, even though I didn't want to, like, focus particularly on that if you see what I'm saying. It's interesting that this out in the cold feels like debt. We've like solution to the problem. We can like give you some sort of deal. So 2 coming down here. Knight of Wands, Queen of Swords. This is on the 6 of Pentacles, isn't it? So it's like the passion. No, we definitely it's like going in, based on spin. Like I said, that's on the wonk. That's not fully in reverse. So down here, it's like, no, we've got to drive in, passion, action, go and do it, blah, blah, blah. Queen of Swords is like, harsh truth. It's gone from a warning shot over the bow to cold, harsh truth, knowledge, wisdom, clarity. If you do this, you're by yourself. You do this, blah, 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 blah. It's that kind of thing. It's like, I don't want to say that it's kind of over a barrel ultimatum, but it's like cold, to the point, kind of very short sentences. You know exactly where you stand if you do this kind of thing. Overarching, they're trapped, devil in the detail with this, bringing it back to the defense statement, that kind of thing, it being bypassed. There's something hidden in the details that's going to trigger all this escalation. Underlying energy, new world, new cycle. Yeah, this is not good. This is purposely triggering for alternative ulterior motives. This is all about money. This is all about building up the resort. This is almost like a game of Risk. It's just popped into my head. Yeah. And it's like, we've just got to build up. We haven't got much in the arsenal, as it were. We've got to build up. We need to talk about security, being proactive, investing kind of thing, starting to spin it, starting to build the web to then be able to go, right, we need to do this. Pull the trigger. Off we go. Yeah, this is I can't say those words. Diabolical. There is a contract. There is some sort of, with it, the defense statement thing. They are trying to keep all sorry, I'm having a download. Hold on. Shut up. No, surely not. Let's go to the Labour to-do list, right? Let's just review this, because this is what I've just been as a download, right? Just so follow along. Number of gangs smashed, 0. Why is that? No new homes built yet, which is, it doesn't involve the island deal, but it does involve winter fuel payments, where if you can't afford to stay, doesn't involve disability, doesn't involve WASPy, doesn't involve, apart from monies here, doesn't involve post office, or it's the reasons why they're keeping all this money, what they got, kind of, they don't want to have an additional expenditure because it's all here. It all needs to go here. But there's a reason why they're not smashing the gangs, and this is part of it. This is all part and parcel of this. This is all, but yeah. It's almost like we're not doing any of that because we need that for some, like, part B of the plan. Fright. So America is really kind of like, this is a kind of mental health kind of thing. Worry, concern, anxious, yeah, depressed, really kind of, don't do this. Page of Swords, that's them shooting over the bow. Don't do this. Pay attention to what you're doing. No, you know what? I'm going to go down this. I'd never do this, but I'm going to go down this side as well. I've been just nudged to do it. Queen of Pentacles, light bulb moment. Okay, the realization, the aha moment, the Ace of Wands in this deck. This is very much America kind of final resort, kind of, you will be on your own. You're going to be out in the cold. We know you're two-faced here. We know what's going on. We are not having a part of it, kind of thing. Building up to that. Queen of Swords. Yeah. The memory card. This feels like, you ain't done it, but, you can't do it by us. We're built together. The 5 eyes, 6 eyes, whatever. No, it's the 5 eyes, isn't it? Australia, yeah. We've built all this infrastructure. We've built all this kind of stuff. Don't do it because we'll find a different way of doing it. We don't have to do this. We don't have to be this close, blah, blah, blah. You're going on a path that is ridiculous. You're escalating it. So now this side, Page of Pentacles, which I've never, multi-mask. Didn't I said, like, this is on the skew, spin, right? Wearing different faces, mask, kind of deceiving, manipulating, yeah? Trying to escalate the situation. 9 of Cups, wish coming true. It's a trap. They're trapping themselves into this stupidity. They're trapping themselves into this long-term shenanigans. 5 of Pentacles. It's all about... I'm going to go down and then back up again. Okay, so there's something here about... I think this family card is about bond, as in, like, the other members of NATO. Like, all of Europe is practically bankrupt. Recessions across the mainland. All sorts of shenanigans going on. All that kind of stuff. And quite frankly, it's a situation where they are escalating the situation for their, like, sorting out the economy, sorting out the working people. Yeah. Knight of Wands. Independence. Doing it alone. Well, without America. This is going to be Europe's Vietnam, basically. Going alone, causing havoc, no one's a winner, everyone's tail between their legs, all that kind of stuff. What was that actually for, kind of thing, I'm going back up here for the family thing. Look at the gain card. Look at what we can earn. Look at what we're trying to do. It was the Ace of Pentacles at the bottom here, wasn't it? Yes. Planting the seed of opportunity. Oh, look what we could make here. We could make so much money, and the GDP will sort itself out, and the, debt and all that malarkey, and it will sort out the economy, and it'll all be great. Over robbery, exploiting, stealing value, stealing worth. stealing people's lives, stealing people's opportunities. It's all about money, coach, knowledge. Everyone's on the same page, but who needs to know? But Parliament is being cut out. Certain people are being cut out. This is, I knew this is. But what I don't get, okay, what I don't get, I'm going to slump my coffee again. Now it's dry. Cheers again. Cheers. What I don't get in this reading is how, oh God, I've been waffling. I'm so sorry. How it connects with the previous predictions reading. So I'm going to use the dinky deck on that. And then we get the hell out of here, all right? So, how does this connect with the health scandal, this data scandal, this craziness that was talking about in the predictions deck? Not the predictions deck, sorry, but the predictions reading about Charlie Boy dissolving Parliament for the greatest good for all concerned. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Always be appreciative. How does this connect? How does this connect? Because do you know what I mean? It's somehow Lego brick together. It's yin and yang. It's like one side, the other side. Okay. Doopa 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 doo. Time to Ace of Cups. Some sort of offer that feels in goodwill, in good gesture. Both of them. Okay. All right. Hermit card. This was industry, wasn't it? This is defense industry. This doesn't feel good at all. This really doesn't feel good at all. Knight of Pentacles. Three of Wands, reviewing the situation. Death card again. I really don't like this. The amount of times the death card came out in that predictions reading. Is this about a weapon? Three of Pentacles. Is this? Hold on. Did I do the wish coming true again? Underlying energy. Is this about a weapon that backfires? Some sort of weapon. Some sort of. Three of Wands is the data that's coming back. Ace of Cups is the that feels like the defense statement. That feels like the proposal. That feels like, okay, lads, working together, this is what we're going to do. All right, this is the agreement. Yeah, the gentleman club, what we were talking about earlier, that's that. Knight of Pentacles, the proposal of how we're going to do this, make dosh, sort out the economy, blah, blah, blah. Three of Wands, actually, there's some shenanigans here. Death. Normally end of a cycle, beginning of a new. Devil. Oh, for goodness sake. Victory. Manifesting. About over here. Working back and forth. It's all right. It's all going to be fine, lads. King of Wands, stuttering Starmer, and part of his ilk, kind of like, we can do this. We can. Overarching energy, Seven of Pentacles. This has been a long time coming. Disconnecting from Trumpy Trump. All working together. Working like gentleman's agreement, handshakes, that kind of stuff. There. It's all going to work out great, lads. We, each back and forth, kind of. It's all going to, relax, chill out. Here's the vision. Here's the plan. Here's that kind of stuff. Knight of Pentacles is. It feels like the money-making machine starting. Three of Wands. It's i.e. bombardment, equipment, all that jazz. Three of Wands, reviewing the situation. That feels like exposure. That feels like whistleblowers. That feels like disclosure we had down here of documents, that kind of stuff, showing the reality of this and of data. There is some sort of excess deaths, whatever. And even though there will be alleged proclaimed victory, actually the devil card here, it's like you reap what you sow kind of thing with the magician again, kind of energy. You've manifested this. The devil's in the detail, this contract, this stuff. And the hermit here, even though it's illuminating all of this, so I feel like the whistleblower is going to be coming from the defense industry in this defense statement, in like the truth of the matter, even though they're spinning it and all that jazz. It's illuminating all of this. Does it happen? Does it escalate before it? Yeah, they burge straight on. Yeah, the Knight of Wands, they're in and they go. So it's exposed afterwards. Yeah. Quick communications, quick work, quick movement in the battle. And then, yeah, it's exposed. The Three of Cups again. The Three of Cups kept coming up in the previous reading. I knew this was connected. The Emperor again. Three of Cups up here. Exposing it. Explain. So the Three of Cups that kept coming up in the predictions deck. Predictions reading. I keep saying that. Yes, there's going to be Labour people involved. Working people. But it's also part of this team up here that Trump's trying to bring together. It's like, no, we can be part of this. It's kind of a bigger... but it's going to be shown after the escalation happens. It's going to be leaked after it's spun, like Iraq. But there is a... Is it Kelly? Knight of Wands again. It's a Kelly scenario. Quick, Eight of Wands again. Three of Cups again. Do you see what I mean? It's just like the backstabbing comes out. This whistleblower, yeah. They're betrayed by the Three of Cups. Look, right? Really holding them all together. Moving on from Karma Shores. To Karma Shores. New foundations. Holding on tight. So I just wanted to make sure that you could see that I am putting it together for the Three of Cups to keep coming out. So the backstab, the betrayal, it's history repeating itself. There will be a Kelly. There will be another Kelly to try and illuminate the situation from the defense side of things. Yeah. Let's leave it there because this is a lot and we've been waffling and I cannot believe how long this has been going. I'm so sorry. I hope you're finding these longer readings, in-depth readings, really more informative and stuff like that. And I think this is just the tip of the iceberg of how busy it's going to be this week. I feel like this week is going to be non-stop craziness as it kind of speeds up again. And things what have been happening last week on the recess kind of come out drip, drip, drip feed kind of thing. But we'll leave this here for now. Once again, if you enjoyed this, how I read, please thumb me a like. It generally helps out the channel. Subscribe, ding-a-ling the bell. Come and join the village. Down below, comment suggestions for future readings, as well as if you've been reading along here, what if you know who certain people are, that kind of thing. But until next time, where this crazy shenanigans starts all over again, take care. Look after yourself. Be well. And thank you for your company. I'll speak to you soon. See you later. Ta-ra.